makala ya Juma katika Imani. Kutoka makao makuu ya runinga Capuchin eneo la Karen kwenye jimbo kuu la Nairobi, tumsifu Yesu Kristo na ujambo pote pale ulipo mpendwa mtazamaji wa runinga Capuchin, ikiwa ni siku ya Ijumaa kwenye Juma katika Imani, tunatarajia yapi?
Bila shaka kuna mengi ambayo tunatarajia. Kwanza tutakuwa na education ambayo tutakuwa na event ambayo itakuwa inafanyika pale Nairobi Msongari. Last week tulikuwa Gong Diocese ambapo tulikuwa tunaangazia Catholic Education Day. Kwa hivyo tutakuwa nayo Nairobi Diocese. Pia tutakuwa na Capuchin Golden Jubilee Celebration ambayo itakuwa kule Nyeri, na kuna confirmation ambayo itakuwa St. Clair Kasarani. Hayo ni mambo ambayo tutaona katika wiki hii. Hakuna mambo mengi sana, lakini bila shaka kuna mengi ya kusema kufuatia hayo mambo ambayo tutaona.
Na kumbuka mpendo mtazamaji wa runinga Capuchin, bila shaka kwenye makala Juma katika Imani tunaangazia yale ambao tunatarajia, alivyosema mwenzangu kwamba ambapo ni kesho siku ya Jumamosi tutakuwa na sherehe ya walimu wa Katoliki ambapo itafanyika kule Msongari, na kumbuka ni sherehe itakayoongozwa na askofu mkuu wa jimbo kuu la Nairobi, askofu mkuu Filipanyolo. Na pia kumbuka kama desturi ya kanisa Katoliki, kawaida kuna ile siku ya shule itwa
Catholic Education
ambapo yaendelea kusherekewa kwenye kanisa parokia mbalimbali kwenye jimbo kuu la Nairobi na pia jimbo Katoliki la Ngong. Na kumbuka pia shirika la ndugu Francisco wa Capuchin wanaendelea kuadhimisha ama kusherekea miaka 50 tangu walipofika hapa nchini mwaka 1974, ambapo sherehe hiyo itasherekewa tena siku ya Jumapili kule jimbo Katoliki la Nyeri. Na bila shaka mwenzetu ambaye ni Sister Esther atakita kambi kule anatuletea yapi ambapo tunatarajia kwenye adhimisho la miaka 50 la shirika la ndugu Francisco wa Capuchin. Na basi tunayopa kipaumbele siku ya leo ni sherehe ya walimu wa Katoliki ambapo itafanyika kule Msongari. Na je, mbona hasa kanisa linaimpa kipaumbele sherehe hiyo? Na pia tukiangalia leo tunaye mgeni mwalimu ambaye anajitambulisha, na kumbuka yeye ni kutoka jimbo Katoliki la Ngong, ambaye anafahamika kama mwalimu Charles kutoka St. Mary Primary and Junior School kule Ongacharongai. Bila shaka iko chini la parokia St. Mary eneo la Ongacharongai kwenye jimbo Katoliki la Ngong. Je, labda kuna tofauti gani wale ambao waliajiriwa na serikali na wale ambao waliajiriwa na kanisa Katoliki hasa? Je, labda masomo ni tofauti iwapo yuko kwenye mambo na serikali na au kwenye wanaoajiriwa na kanisa Katoliki? Na bila shaka tutaendelea kujifunza mengi, na pia kuhusu mfumo mpya wa elimu ama ukipenda CBC, ni yapi tunatarajia, uhusiano baina ya walimu na watoto vile vile. Jina langu ni Arbe Bonea, tuandamani hadi tamati.
Na mimi ni Gabriel Mutati, tuko pamoja.
Karibu mwalimu, naomba ujitambulishe kwanza.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I must say that I'm very grateful to invite me here, at least so that we can discuss some of the issues that pertains to education. I'm called Charles Odeny Okumu. I'm a teacher at St. Mary's Primary and Junior Schools, Ongacharongai.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Na labda tukianza tu tukiangalia, mara nyingi wajua watu wakisikia walimu, mtaalamu, mtu ni mwalimu kwamba aona singependa kuwa mwalimu. Wengi wasema hivyo. Ni yapi yamekuvutia?
What I can say about teaching as a profession, what I can say is that it's a profession that you cannot force in yourself, actually.
Ni kama kipawa.
Actually, it is like a call. I can talk about it like it's just I can put it like probably even a priesthood, something like that one, or being even a medical, like a nurse. Sometimes you look at just being smartness, or you don't want to get dirty. All of a sudden, you could be walking on the pavement. A child comes and hangs on you. Teacher, they don't mind how their hands look like. So if at all you can be agitated with such kind of reactions of kids, therefore you may not call teaching as the best profession. Sometimes again, by nature, if at all you are somebody who love the company of children, you'll always get attracted to serving the kids. I believe it is more or less a call, is more or less a passion than a profession. That's what I can say. Yes, because again, people say that teaching as a career cannot be rewarded. You cannot quantify the level of the knowledge you've given the child, then you prize it. That today, I've removed a pupil in this grade 1 to grade 8. The content that I've given out cannot be valued monetarily. It is just a token of appreciation. You appreciate your work so that you can continue, you can get that life to continue serving and impacting several lives. Thank you.
So it means like most of the people maybe who join maybe teaching without that call, because I'm looking at it like most of the time, whatever you do in grade 1, you might repeat it in next year, the same thing. So most of the time, they don't make it.
In fact, one thing, some people can find it to be very boring. Myself, what I can say, with the station where I am, St. Mary's Primary and Junior Schools, this is my 11th year there. This is my 11th year. And for the 844, that just the last group of 844 that did the KCP last year, I've been teaching candidate class. Actually, I've been teaching mathematics for the last 9 years, teaching the same content, the same textbook. However, every year the learners are unique. You can't even use your lesson plan to come and suit the class that you taught, that you're teaching this year. The lesson plan you used for last year, you can't use it this year, because all learners are unique. All learners respond differently, and every class is unique. So you handle it like a unique class, like you've never met it before. You teach that content as if you've never taught it before. Their interaction is what will guide you, imagine. How they respond to the content you've taught, how they respond to the lesson you've taught, you come and evaluate yourself. Did I meet the objective for that my specific lesson? Depending with how that specific class responds, not how the previous class responded. So you gauge yourself at that particular time, at the end of every lesson, with a specific different group of people with very unique characters also. And that is how that's why I'm telling you, for those who are not, you feel that no, must I make a new lesson plan? You will find yourself that again, you may not be such productive, because every class call for different approach and call for different methodology and different interactions. So that's why some people that felt it boring, there are several people that pursued education, but they're not in that field because they view it, no, it must be a very boring situation. Like somebody reading the Bible year in, year out. You get it? Yes. So that's what I can say. Teaching is a call than a profession. Thank you.
Labda nikurejeshe nyuma, umesema umekuwa mwalimu kwa miaka 11, lakini tukiangalia na pia umesema umewahi kuwa mwalimu wa wale watainiwa wa darasa la 8 labda ama kidato cha 8 mwalimu, tukiangalia mbali na watoto wanatairishwa, wajua kuanzia kidato cha kwanza, cha pili, cha 4, wakati wa matokeo ya mtihani, kila mwaka kuna tatizo hapa nchini. Wengi wapati matokeo. Ni yapi ambayo yanasababisha kama mwalimu, labda ukiona?
What happens, what we have encountered with what we have encountered with our probably our friends and probably neighboring schools, you realize that especially when it comes to national examination, that one was the former KCPE. CBC has more or less made the education not to be such competitive than the 844. People used to panic, how will my class perform? And through that, people could try to look for some sources of information to give clue to the candidates so that at least they can score highly. It is short-lived. The best thing as a teacher, especially if you are called as a teacher, in your class, pupils will score A's, pupils will score B's, pupils will also score C's. But depending with the potential, because in a class of 40, not all the pupils have the same ability, especially cognitively. But in the class of 40, these pupils, they have different, probably talents. Now, when I talk about CBC. So that's why, as a teacher, do your best, then ask yourself a question. I'm now preparing a candidate. When I was preparing a candidate, it's not an easy task because you finish the syllabus. Now you come into the revision part of it. Probably series of examination. All the parents that have had kids in candidate, sometimes they say that's never easy. Lots of homework are given there. But now as a teacher, the best fulfillment that you can get is when you've done the best. Once you panic as a teacher, your pupils will panic more. Get satisfied from yourself that you've done the best. Then leave the kids to go have independent thinking in the examination room. Then you'll experience a wonderful score. Leave alone even that one. In our school, we do make a follow-up of our students that have passed through our school. Then we look at how did they fare on in the KCSE, because we prepare them in the KCP. Which kind of product are we given out in this to the community? Which kind of product have we given out to high schools? Then later we come and ask that we come and trace how they performed in KCSE. You realize that the pupils who is well prepared with no drilling, proper teaching. If it's an experiment, conduct the experiment. If it is an activity to be in the classroom, do the activity together and let it be learner-centered. Once the learning is learner-centered, they own the learning process. And whatever is taught, they will never forget. And they will apply it even in future. So you don't have to panic once you've done the right thing. But once you've taken the shortcut of question answers, whereby children acts like robots, at the end of the day, if there's a question that is brought that you've never taught, you will panic that all your learners will fail, because you didn't give them that opportunity to think independently. So learners who are taught independently and they own the learning process cannot fail in examination. And as a teacher, even if they get 250 marks, that one was her best or his best. That once you get that, you have that satisfaction that you did your best, learners will always be happy with every score that they get. Thank you.
Well, this brings me back to the system we have right now, because we had the 844 system and now we have the 2633 system, and I expect also, yes, to get another 3 for the university.
Great.
Maybe, what is the difference between the two?
One, there are several differences that we can put according to according to trainings that we have attended. When CBC started, it was like to us as teachers, because whatever we learned, we were trained in the colleges, was not the CBC curriculum. However, we were taught methodology, whereby every curriculum a teacher should, once a teacher understands the curriculum, and once a teacher understands the content of the design, the methodology you can apply to teach any syllabus that come on your way. That's why we taught the 844. We are extremely relevant because we were taught methodology. And as long as I have the understanding of the syllabus, I can teach it very well. Now, when we talk about now, I answer your question, probably some of the differences that we have. One, the 844 curriculum was more or less examination oriented. Now, when we are examination oriented, whereby the examination had to be manned by foreign invigilators, actually external invigilators, who are not teachers of that school. Presently, NEC, Kenya National Examination Council, brings for us assessment to the teachers who are teaching those kids. You are the one to monitor the assessment, and it's a continuous assessment. You monitor that assessment, learners do it freely, not like that panic that when learners felt about examination, because examination examination fever, even as adults, sometimes when you're told that you're going to sit for examination, you feel as if the world is coming to an end. That one CBC has broken, because they believe that now examination is an assessment, should not be life and death. And they say that once that child does not do well in a specific paper, probably mathematics, does not mean that child is a failure. That's what you use to judge the kids. that no, you fail in mathematics. Mathematics was my best subject. You compare yourself with your learner, with your child. So that one CBC has broken, because the former curriculum was examination oriented. The present CBC is more or less of the competency of that child, what that child can perform. He may fail in mathematics, but is the best artist. Thank you.
Maybe before I go to Arbe, so we're expecting a good product compared to what we are getting.
If at all, if at all CBC is fully embraced, and all systems are put in place, both the support from the government, support from the parents, then teachers, we have embraced the system. Because actually, I told you the way we started, teaching is a call. And once you are doing something just to assist the kid, there's no level that you cannot reach. All these things is geared towards helping the learner. So once it is well, the support, we get the appropriate support. Therefore, it is the best curriculum ever, because it's based on the competency of a kid, not cognitive ability.
Kwamba umetaja kuwa iwapo inapata usaidizi kutoka serikali na pia kutoka wazazi na walimu pia, ni miaka moja tangu ilipoanzishwa ama ilipozinduliwa, ina maana bado ina changamoto kwenye mfumo mpya wa elimu.
What is it? I'm not getting your question very well.
About the challenge.
Nasema hivi, samahani, umetaja kuwa iwapo serikali, wazazi na walimu wakishikana, mfumo mpya wa elimu ni bora kuliko ya zamani. Ina maana kuwa kuna changamoto bado?
Very many. Very many. However, especially because we have friends within the public sector, the public schools. Fortunately enough, us who are really Catholic-sponsored schools and who serves in the mainly Catholic schools, we might be getting a lot of support because there are several measures which are put in place to ensure that we get the first-hand information from the ministry and get materials which are needed, especially when you compare to probably in the private schools. Private schools, once the government says that we expect ABCD, definitely they will go and provide that ABCD needed for learning. The challenge could be in public schools, but even as in private schools, there are some challenges that you're facing. The first challenge that you're facing, one, especially, I want to talk about the universal challenges that affects education system in both private and public. Learning materials. That one to the normal language, we talk about things like textbooks. The curriculum, even the publishers, like when it came to last year, the December, you had a lot what was called rationalization of subjects, combining of some subjects. Some subjects were combined. What is it? For example, we had home science independently. When CBC was starting, there was a subject called home science, and learners were pursuing home science, and there was an independent subject which is called what? Which is agriculture, and they had their own textbooks separately. Then probably by the end of by December, some of the subjects were put together. They were rationalized to form one learning area. For example, we have now agriculture and nutrition as one learning area. Initially, we had home science separately and agriculture separately. Now we have what is called agriculture and nutrition as one learning area. It was merged in December, but no learning materials. No specific textbook, even in US, any publisher, which has combined the two learning areas to form one textbook. There's no there. We had what is called, we had the life skills and social studies separately. Now they have been merged. There's no specific textbook which has merged those two learning areas. However, we've had now the combined curriculum design, what we used to call syllabus. It is called curriculum design. It has really stated clearly what should be covered in a specific stage, grade, and it has brought that combination. So we are being guided by the curriculum design. However, some teachers have to go extra mile, because curriculum design will always give you an objective to be achieved, a specific content to be achieved. However, will not give you a lot of notes concerning that. So a teacher, you must be creative. You must go and make some of the research so that you get adequate information that will ensure that children get the adequate information. So the area of learning resources, the textbooks, there's still a hiccup there, especially better part of this year. Not much of the publisher, because the publisher says that now we are still using the textbooks that we published, that was separating what? The learning areas. So when you have to use that book, and some of the information are now irrelevant, cannot be consumed because the design does not want them. It's not for that level. That's one of the probably. That's just one of the challenges that the CBC is still encountering. And secondly, support sometimes from the parents. CBC needs a lot of involvement, that collaboration between the stakeholders, the teacher, the pupil, and the parent. When you sometimes, most of our parents, I'm sorry to say so, most of the parents, they like ready-made items. For example, CBC is about innovation, critical thinking, and manipulation of locally available material to come up with a product which is guided by the design. You tell a pupil to go and make a drum. This from animal skin to come up with a drum. To use a locally available material to make a drum. Because of the time frame, the parents does not have that time to sit down with a pupil and to sit up with a pupil and make up the material that you've sent. The parent will go to the shop and buy a drum and rings. So we are killing the innovativeness of the kid, the creativity of the kid. We have just bought the item. The traditionally improvised football, the one that used to be made with the local level materials, old clothes and everything. The parent will go and buy a football from the market because that time is not there. So it is not fully embraced by even the stakeholders themselves, including the parents. So the government has a little bit of hiccups. The parents also still view it that this is like an experiment. It's not real. It's an experiment. And as if we have taken them back to the classroom. Sometimes when they call them to the meeting, they protest that you are taking us back to the classroom, which we had left long time ago. We are not learning. Our children are the one learning. So they prefer things being done in the school fully, and things will get over there, and they don't expect much to be done from home as homework. That is it.
Mapendekezo yako ni yapi? Tukiangalia changamoto upande wa wazazi, umetaja upande wa serikali na pia kwa walimu, lazima kuna changamoto mnaopitia. Mapendekezo ni yapi yangefaa kufanywa ili kuboresha mfumo mpya wa elimu?
One, parents should also, which is being done, really support the Catholic-based institutions. Once the CBC program came, we attended the trainings. Teachers were trained on the expectations of the CBC, on the scope of the CBC, and everything. Then after that one, they went ahead. When I talk about on behalf of the Catholic Diocese of Ngong, whereby the Education Secretary of the Diocese of Ngong, Reverend Father Paul Ngeno, he made the trainings available for the teachers. Actually, me personally, I've attended around 4 sessions of such trainings. Remember, if you're taking, the first training was like a drum set, you have a drum set on the head. Then going forward, now we started embracing every content. How it may not be 100% perfect, but a greater part we have grasped of CBC requirement. What can be done? The government should also be bring the sensitization forums, the way public participation on finance bill is being done. Education should always be done with the same forums, whereby we have the specialists, those who are well versed with the CBC information from KICD. They go to a specific zone. They just simply go and meet the parents, not the teachers, so that the parents can also know whatever is going on. Teachers have been taken to a lot of induction. Teachers have been taken to a lot of training, but parents are still left aside. And imagine parent is a very important stakeholder as far as CBC is concerned. So when he's not knowledgeable, he will always perceive CBC as 844 because he's not well informed. Teachers and the Ministry of Education, we've really understood and we embraced the system. And we've seen indeed is very powerful. When you take an 844 kid here and a CBC child here, the reasoning from a CBC child will always outweigh the 844 one. The CBC child is about this problem solving. When a water tap gets broken in the house, probably an 844 kid will wait for a plumber to come. A CBC kid will try to stop the leakage of water first. And then other things whereby they cannot meet too, they cannot handle. Technicality part of it to come later. But their part they shall have done. An 844 kid will wait for a plumber to come. So it's a very productive curriculum. It's a very good curriculum, well embraced and well supported. We can come up with a country full of productivity, innovations, and job seeking can be something of the past. But we shall have a lot of job creators. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe I'm a parent, and good you're here. You're talking about it, and maybe we've been left out. We've not been involved in what is happening. And I know I have a kid in grade 7, and recently I got the results, and she had something like exceeding expectation. There is no ranking. How will you know your performance of your kid? Maybe let me be a parent for now.
Great. How will you know the performance of the kid?
Yes, compared to the others. Because now she has gone to school and would like to see how she's performing or she's not performing, or maybe after that, where is she going? Maybe because now I know she's in grade 7. I don't know what I'm expecting next. After that, I know it is 2, 6, 3, 3, and then there's another 3.
Great. Okay. We are told that there is several reorganization which is still taking place, especially as far as grade 8 is concerned. You had a group, there was a group of CUPET, group of NAD saying that now still, even as early as this year, that junior secondary should be taken back to high school. Then, so there's a lot of reorganization until the minister, the Minister of Education came out and said that now junior secondary is domiciled in the primary schools, and that's how it stands. After what we know is that after the latest information that we have, at grade 9, learners will be subject to national assessment. Learners will be subjected to national assessment. These national assessments, the results will always be categorized in three ways. The learners will sit for the national assessment, but you know the CBC, every assessment that was done from grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, then they sat for KPSA in grade 6. All those ones are in the portals of the NEC, whereby they have studied the trend of a pupil until that level. Now the learner proceeded to grade 7, 8, and 9. There's every year there's usually national assessment in every grade, and the results are usually submitted to the next portal. Also, the trend will also follow. So the government, after following the trend, will be able to classify this kid under STEM, under social sciences, whereby STEM will take around 60%. We have social sciences take around actually 20%, and sports and related courses actually will also take around what? Around 40%. So what the information that is not coming out clearly, but probably I know will be communicated, is that there will be clustering of the schools will still remain. Clustering of the schools will still remain, and learners will be called like the way learners were called to join Form 1 after grade 9, so that they go to senior secondary. So from junior secondary, after sitting for grade 9, they will go now to senior secondary upon sitting for the national assessment.
The classification will be done at that level, whereby maybe you can say, I don't know how you'll be telling this is a national school candidate, or this is a sub-county candidate, things like that.
The exceeding expectations that you're seeing, meeting expectations that you're seeing, those ones already classification parts. That probably, but I know much of the information, because we have really, actually, as we speak now, we are just, we are hearing from the information of the Minister within the background, but they have not yet come out clearly. Probably reaching that time, because no, we are now in grade 8. Yes. Whatever we had done for last year was induction for grade 8. We were done for induction. I told you that the support within the Diocese of Ngong, when we normally go to every stage, they normally make an induction and retooling. Then they give us the expectations. They take, actually they organize from the officers from the KCD, Council of Curriculum Development, to take us about the expectations that we are expecting in the new grade, which was done when we were going to grade 8. We were done for induction last year, December, when we, and even the publishers came, Moran publishers, they came, and we were given the expectation of grade 8 and how we are going to tackle grade 8. Not much of induction has been done for grade 9 because it is not yet existing, and probably at the end of this year will be taken for induction for grade 9. Then during that time, we will be having adequate information now to deliver over the same. But now I can tell you the information concerning the CAPSEA, information concerning grade 7, information concerning grade 8, because those are the areas that we have been inducted and we have been retooled, and we are using the design to achieve the expectations.
Wajua Gabu, bila shaka umesema wewe unawakilisha wazazi. Mimi nikiangalia hivi, tuangalie kwamba wale wazazi ambao hawajabahatika kusoma ama kupata elimu, wale waliko mashinani pale. Wajua kama wewe mwenyewe uelewi na yule mzazi ambaye ni msomi haelewi, na je yule ambaye hajabahatika kusoma?
Jambo la msingi hapa ni wazazi waweze kujua kwamba vile mwalimu ameelezea the first 2 years ama miaka 2 za kwanza pale play group. Akitoka hapo anaenda miaka 6 pale kwa primary school.
Waanzi kule play group. Tukiangalia kule mashinani, mtoto anajiunga na elimu ama shuleni akiwa na miaka 5, miaka 6 huko, na wazazi wao hawajasoma. Hasa tukiangalia kule kaskazini mwa Kenya, pale ambapo sisi tumetoka, wengine wetu kuona wazazi hawaelewi. Mtoto amepelekwa shule na anaambiwa kwamba kuna assignment na mambo mengi anafaa kufanya.
Swala nzito hapa ni labda akiangazia wakati wa kulipa kulipa karo. Na najua sana karo itakuja akimaliza grade 9, ile nyingi kabisa kwa wale labda wanasomesha katika shule za msingi za government. Karo nyingi inakuja pale. Kwa hivyo mzazi, ni vizuri wazazi wale wananitazama ujue ya kwamba ujipange, kuna wakati wa karo, sio eti unaona ako primary all through. La pili, saidia mtoto wako kuweza kufanya homework, na ni vizuri vile mwalimu amesema nitamuuliza kitu.
Wajua swali langu liko hapa. Na yule ambaye hafahamu kufanya homework ama assignment atafanyaje? Angalia wale wa mashinani. Wajua kuna wengine mwalimu, wazazi hawajabahatika kusoma na waelewi pia mambo na elimu. Kazi yao ni kupeleka mtoto shule, mtoto ameenda shuleni asubuhi na anarudi, lakini mzazi haelewi chochote kuhusu mambo na elimu. Kama yule, labda ushauri wako ni ipi kwake? Labda turejeshe kwa mwalimu.
That is where, actually, that's some of the, a little bit, the challenges that probably CBC has faced. Among the challenges that you asked me, I'll go back to the parental involvement, especially, and creation of awareness by the government to the parents. It can be done through the school head teachers. If at all such kind of program can be there, so that parents, because these schools are in, these public schools, they are in the villages. And within the villages there, we have the spokes, the mouthpiece of the Ministry of Education, that is the head teacher, where parents can go and meet and get information at any required time. So the most importantly, I can remember when we were growing, when you were growing young, when we were growing, our classrooms were mud-thatched classrooms. And parents were placed on a duty roster. The female parents, our parents, the parents of that class, they could come and smear the floor alternatively with water, and probably alternatively. And the arrangement was so much organized, and they could get adequate communication. If the parents could be informed to come and make the classrooms where their children used to study at that particular time, and they could come. What about just coming to getting information about the new CBC? The mouthpiece of the head teacher, of the Ministry of Education, in the village level, is that person who is the head teacher in that particular school. The head teacher in that particular school, just the framework and the guidelines should just come from the ministry. that even every term ensure that you have parents meeting and parents are well informed about CBC, which is not taking place. Up to now probably has not taken place. If at all they are being called, probably could be just be another issues. But if at all it can be a regular, like the way teachers are being done for induction, I really appreciate the government. Even in the public there within those villages, the teachers and the zonal inspectors were given instructions. Teachers had to sign that they have attended the induction program. And teachers are really still one step ahead, even at the village there. They know about CBC very well, and parents are slightly left behind. My advice would be, the village is in the village there, we have the mouthpiece of the Ministry of Education, who are the head teachers, who are also, they also have the PTA members. Through that, parents can get involved, the parents can be called for the meetings, then they are being sensitized. There's nothing which is impossible. Only that the willing power. If at all the government is willing, the mouthpiece of the government is already employed. They are there, working Monday to Friday, who are now the school side teachers. So there's nothing which is impossible. And again, secondly, this assignment that we normally tell pupils to go and do at home, the curriculum is made, actually CBC is embracing the use of locally available materials. Sometimes some of these projects, when they're being done, children who are in the village setup, sometimes they have advantage of acquiring those locally available materials than even the ones in towns. So the towns could be having a lot of knowledge, but on the practicality, once they are well informed. The challenge is probably is the staff. Staff is also a challenge in CBC still. The junior, when I tell you now, one teacher in grade 7 handling 14 learning areas. And this teacher who is handling 14 learning areas did Bachelor of Education in probably Kiswahili history. A teacher, and one teacher is the one that has been posted by the government to handle a grade 7. And this teacher did Bachelors of Education, Bachelor of Arts, Kiswahili history. And you expect this teacher to teach mathematics? The same teacher to teach English? The same teacher to teach integrated science, to teach pre-technical? Pre-technical, integrated science, mathematics, those are science-related courses. This teacher is an art teacher. And because every school, and every grade, they were posting one teacher, not two. One teacher in every school to handle 14 learning areas, whereby this teacher did not even train on those learning areas. A Kiswahili history teacher, a Funze science, integrated science. Aren't you seeing that even the information may not reach the land? So that's why I was telling about the changamoto hapo hinje ni mingi, and again just need to be well thought of. Staffing, one of it. Parental awareness is another thing, and many of them. So that is the only challenge that we are still having in CBC. Otherwise, a very good curriculum.
I agree, sana kwa sababu I look at what I get like every day. Most of the time, like on the side of the sciences, I'm back in class, by the way, because every time I'm told, Daddy, I need you to do this link in your phone so that I can get some assignments to work on. So most of the time, it's like I'm also learning as a parent. And the way my friend is saying is that back there, I don't know how they are doing it like that, because if you don't have a phone, maybe a phone like mine, or you don't have maybe a computer or a laptop, it will be hectic for you. There are those people who use a mulikamuizi kind of a phone. So I'm looking at those scenarios and I see it's like, it's a bad thing down there.
It is true.
Yes.
That's the reality.
But I think the parents can come together, or the professionals from that school maybe, and think of providing something like that. Maybe a printer or a machine which can assist the kids when they are in school. And maybe if there is a parent who doesn't have that, they can come over and maybe do something like that.
Only if they are well informed and they have understood the importance of acquiring this information. Then through also, the way I'm still in the ministry, I'm not harsh on it, but again, if at all the search, because parents have power, there is power in parents.
Yes.
These parents can move mountains.
Yes.
What they only need is that, and there's no parent who would oppose something which is beneficial to his or her child.
Yes.
No parent. So if you involve the child, that no. If you involve the parents, that in this institution does not have a printer. And I know if I send for you these pictures to go and print for the learners, from the pupils at your own level, you can't. Let us buy one colored printing machine at a cost of 100, 200 shillings each parent. 800 parents in a school will buy marvelous machines for the school. So they only just need to get involved in the process, and you can see the support that can even come from the parents themselves. No parent will, every parent will always desire for the best for their kids.
Maybe the last one. Looking at the Catholic kind of schools and the other schools, maybe what is the advantages for the Catholic students or pupils in schools compared to the other students?
I'll talk about it in a broad way, now not focusing only on CBC. I've told you that I've now been in a Catholic institution for now around 11 years. The present school where I serve, the learners, actually teachers do not work. We serve learners. Yes. Where I serve learners, that is now St. Mary's primary, junior schools, Ongatarongai. When I talk about the advantage that we get in the Catholic schools, there are several things that learners acquire that probably we might see that probably in other schools they may not get such advantage. One, in Catholic institution we believe on mainly, actually the Catholic education, which is guided by the means of education, we mainly believe on three main pillars. Academic excellence, which any other school also gears to that goal. Then secondly, spiritual formation. That is now, again, that is a powerhouse that now you may not get these other places now. Spiritual formation. Then lastly, co-curricular activities. We are normally geared on forming an holistic child. Our best interest is which kind of product do we give to the society? Will I give an A student who is morally rotten? Will I give an A student who does not know God as the creator? So that is the level that Catholic schools have gone extra mile to understand that one, academic excellence is key. Yes. Number two, a child needs God. Spiritual formation is a key. Then lastly, play, actually work without play makes a jack a dull boy. Co-curricular activities. This is actually, these are three pillars that make us come up with an holistic child. If you could have given me an opportunity to dissect every three pillars I've talked about, probably in another forum, I'll appreciate. Yes. But if I give you an example on how attribute of academic excellence has been achieved, on how attribute of spiritual nourishment has been achieved, and how co-curricular activity on a Catholic child has been achieved, I'll appreciate. And if at all that from is a guide that I can just spend 1 minute.
Okay. We can do that for
pia tuangalie, je, kuna tofauti ya walimu ama elimu kwenye shule linalomilikiwa na kanisa Katoliki hasa na serikali, na pia tukiangalia mgomo unaoendelea walimu wa GSS Junior Secondary School, inawaadhiri nyinyi kama walimu walioajiriwa na kanisa Katoliki?
Definitely, when the strike is outside there, it affects both private and Catholic schools. One, sometimes, especially, these people will be geared to one national assessment. And as I tell you, sometimes again, you realize that there is how the grading sometimes is done. Even you as a human being, even you, I'm a teacher, and I tell you that every teacher has always a love to the kid, every teacher. So once I see sometimes my kids are somehow, because of the environment where they are somehow advantaged because they attend the school from Monday to Friday, getting education, and their counterparts the other side, no one is learning. Human nature, even you as a teacher, sometimes when you watch your news, you pray for them. Even when it comes to natural calamity, just the flooding that took place, us as teachers is really affecting us. It was really affecting us, including you had when there was a calamity in various parts of Kenya, the schools had to be, the openings for the second term had to be extended. So there's no situation that does not affect the teachers. Children might, or the children that we serve may probably be privileged because they may not know much, because with them they're getting the right for education, because the environment where they're found, where they are a little bit privileged. But the other ones in the public counterpart, as a teacher, it affects. Then in addition to that, these teachers are our colleagues. We studied together. We were with them in the colleges. We were with them in the universities. They keep calling us. Some, you even get the text for committing suicide. My brother, I believe, I've reached the end of life. What I'm going through is unbearable. I feel I should just take my life. And this is your friend who was probably a desk mate. So emotionally it has to affect you. And again, they have children. Their children also need basic needs in their life. They need food, clothing, and shelter. Even if yours is privileged to be having because I'm in a Catholic institution, but justice should also be done on the other side. It affects us.
Na pia tukiangalia baadhi ya malalamishi ni kwamba mshahara duni na pia kutotambulika. Ni je, serikali ingefaa kufanya nini na mikakati gani ingefaa kuwekwa na serikali kama njia moja ya kuboresha na kufanya usawa wafanyikazi wote, hasa tukiangalia walimu?
Education is a key element is a key tool for in a development of a country, because if you invest in education, you are investing in a future that will take care of everything. So I believe government should just identify education as a key element to the nation, and then after that one, priority. Because this, for example, you curtail this generation's education, like the ones now being affected by the GSS strike and everything. These learners, there's a content gap. Grade 8, grade 7 probably, these learners who are in that year, grade 8, grade 7, may not get the right content to the capacity that they ought to have gotten. This thing will affect them in the future. So government should just invest in education, and they do their best in education for us to get useful people in future. Without that one, we'll be getting those who cannot be productive. We'll be handling a lot of insecurity issues, not knowing that they were once once brought about by the lack of support in education.
Na labda kabla tuende kwenye swali letu tukiendelea, huyu anasema kindly give the contact of St. Mary's School Ongata Rongai from the discussion and how the teacher is explaining. I like it. So labda waweza peana kama kuna nambari, email ambayo mtu anahitaji.
Probably, and unfortunately, I left my phone. I'm not with it here, but you can just go St. Mary's. We are live in Facebook. Actually, we have a website. Just type in St. Mary's Primary School Ongata Rongai. I believe even in YouTube you'll find us. There are several activities that probably we have really posted online. Just go to Facebook, St. Mary's Primary School Ongata Rongai. By that time, actually, mainly it was St. Mary's Primary School Ongata Rongai, but we have it is a St. Mary's Primary and Junior Schools Ongata Rongai. Introduction of the junior school, made every institution, because the institution is broad, can even accommodate the senior second given opportunity. So just go to Facebook, St. Mary's Primary School Ongata Rongai, then you will get all the contacts there.
Na pia umetaja kuwa education is key to life. Kiingereza. Na mwalimu, labda tukiangalia mara nyingi hasa kwenye karne ya 21, mtu ameenda shule, amepita vizuri, amepata alama ya A. Lakini tukikuja kwenye maisha ya kawaida, wanaopitia changamoto wengi wasema the A candidate wafanya kazi kwa C na D candidate. labda ni yapi yanachangia? Tukiangalia pia mfumo wa elimu hapa nchini ama sekta wa elimu hapa nchini, mara nyingi other than the practical things to focus on the kawaida. Mtu anasoma, amesoma, amekamilisha elimu, lakini wakikuja kwenye maisha, yani the real things in life, ni hivyo sasa mtu anapitia changamoto sana. Labda maoni yako kuhusu hiyo ni gani?
Some get demoralized. One, I believe education should open doors for critical thinking. And the majority of us, probably now I'm working for, I'm now not talking on behalf of the learners who are learning, but I'm talking on behalf of those who have graduated in different fields. One, the challenges that some of us we do have as young generation, we are really glued to what we studied. And probably with the coming of CBC, the challenges will always be solved. Because of the approach of CBC, it is more or less job creation and critical thinking than job seeking. The challenges we have in our generation is that I studied as in Bachelor of Education to become I'm a teacher by profession, but unfortunately I've not gotten the opportunity to be employed in any of the institutions. That one, in the field of education, we have the different fields. The challenge, I believe all of us, we should embrace that, everything comes at its own time, but we should not relax only waiting for whatever is studied in the university. Let us try. In fact, if you look at those who tried and went off their professions, they are doing marvelously well. So we should not just wait for, we're just seeking for job, and I'm just dying for that specific job that I studied. Let's embrace anything that comes on our way. Start with it as you seek for whatever you're looking for. But do not stop that until you get whatever you're looking for. Do not stay back that until I get it. Embrace whatever comes on your way. Then as you continue looking for whatever you're looking for. Yes. As I'm looking for a school to employ me as a teacher, I can start a small business within the neighborhood, whatever I can start with. So we should not see that these other jobs cannot bring for us anything. I must be employed, I must have a white collar job. That's the challenge that most of us we have. When you are just glued, sometimes you may not go far. But when you broaden your thinking and you embrace everything that comes on your way, you'll have several opportunities to grasp.
I think we've had a great discussion with Mwalimu, and most of the things have been expounded well. Sijui kama niko na jambo lingine la kumuuliza, labda
kabla tufike, wajua bado tunatarajia sherehe ya walimu kule Diocese of Nairobi. Labda tuulize, labda ni yapi tunatarajia kwenye sherehe kama hiyo. Niulize swali langu la mwisho. Mwalimu, tukilinganisha zama za kale na kwenye karne hii ya 21, mahusiano kati ya wanafunzi na walimu, tukiangalia zamani, mtoto akifanya kosa ama akikosea, mwalimu ana haki ya kuadhibu watoto, lakini kwenye karne hii kuadhibu mtoto ni kama hatia. Labda tuangalie na pia zamani tukiangalia wazazi wanaenzi sana masomo. Tuangalia zamani na sasa hivi ambapo hamna kesi nyingi, lakini tukiangalia kwenye karne hii kuna mambo mengi kama mimba ya mapema, mtoto akiwa bado shuleni, wengi watoka shuleni kama school dropout, mambo mengi yanaendelea. Uhusiano baina ya watoto na walimu ni ipi?
One, you are talking about the types of punishment that you used to get in probably that when a pupil or when a student is found in a discipline case, we had mode of punishment. One, probably we had modes of punishment like caning. Corporal punishment was one of it, which was abolished. I really support 100% those who abolished corporal punishment as a teacher, and probably depending with the environment. In fact, in our institution, we don't have a cane. nearby. However, deputy mandated by the Ministry of Education is given and has an opportunity, is given a right to punish a pupil even through using the cane. But in our institution where I work, I believe I've seen it work. I've worked in St. Mary's Primary School, Ongarangoi Junior, and other schools. And I've used a cane in my line of duty, and I've now in an environment where the caning is something which probably is unheard of. I want to tell you, the learners of this generation is different from when we were growing. They are exposed to much of the information, and they also know their right. Knowing their rights, probably excessively, too much right is also never right. It's also not, too much freedom is probably is not the best. But we've gotten an opportunity whereby, if you talk to a child, you discuss much on the mistake where he or she was involved. Then you realize that this child comes even with the solution of the mistake they made. Teacher, in this area, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. And because I know whatever I've done would have created A, B, C, D. So you through guiding and counseling, or just discussing, engage a pupil, even your own daughter. Do you think whatever you've done is good? Do you think whatever is done is good? Then you give that child time to reflect on whatever she has done. What about only caning? What have you done that one? You simply cane. This child will go just feeling the pain probably for 10 minutes, but the child has not reflected on the mistake and the consequences of whatever they did. So engage these children, especially this generation. They are not generation to just forcefully force on something. Have a discussion with them. Then you'll get a very interesting, they will even tell you the reason why they did so and so, the other thing. They will tell you, and you'll come up with a very very exclusive, actually too detailed approach in which will help the child even in future. And the child will even end up correcting the other person that will be doing the same kind of thing. So corporal punishment, I really appreciate and really support the abolishment of corporal punishment, because it was not helping the learners. Actually, it was an instant punishment which did not have, was not corrective. And we really get it. Sometimes we even have children in the schools where I used to be. Sometimes the child does a mistake, then brings for you, and teacher, cane me so that he can get over. Nichape ili ishe. Look at that. So the child is perceiving now caning is a matter of just passing. But when you involve this child into a deep discussion on the consequences and the reason why they did whatever they did, this child will come up with a solution. And once they form they be part of the solution, they cannot repeat it. And that's what is taking place. Some of us, sometimes again, I'm a parent, but member Yamapema, the way we've talked about it, early pregnancy, let's get sessions with our children as parents. Let's get sessions for guidance and counseling in our institutions, and let us discuss these things broadly. If you think that our students do not know these things, they know them more than you knew them but at that age. They are extremely, the social media, the friends that they have with, the friends that they work with come from different backgrounds, and they're exposed to different things. So tell them according, as long as it's age appropriate. Also, do not also talk about sensitive things so early to the kid that will now bring a lot of curiosity, things that the child cannot understand. As long as the child is in that age bracket, that whatever you discuss, you understand that this child comprehends and understands. Call it white, and black. Then they will choose white instead of black. But if you say that you sugarcoat the black to be having traces of white, this child may not come up with clear information. So let's be free, embrace guiding and counseling in schools, and at our own level. Parents, let's get time and have exclusive discussion with our children. In fact, even if the child is a girl or a boy, If a boy approaches your daughter, she will come and tell you, "Mommy, so and so said that I'm beautiful, and he loves me. What should I do, Mommy?" Only if you are such a mother that discusses such kind of discussions with your child, especially when your child is within that level. Also, do not bring so much to just be age appropriate. Just be conscious of age. That's what I meant.
Fike kule wakumbuka kipindi cha COVID-19 ambapo mimba ya mapema imeongezeka kwa kiasi kubwa sana. Na wengi wakauliza kwamba walimu wafanya jukumu zaidi ya wazazi.
Hapo ndio nilikuwa nauliza, what is the work of a parent? What are the responsibilities of a parent? Na najua by the way tuko na kazi nyingi sana kama wazazi ambapo labda kama vile anasema in Catholic institutions ni kwamba mambo ya character is really checked on. Kwa hivyo mtoto wako akiwa pale anaangaliwa mambo ya their spiritual life, their character. Na sijui kama juzi kuna video ambayo ilikuwa inatembea ambapo kijana wa pale aliweza kuchapa polisi vibaya sana. Sijui hiyo ni mambo ya character ama ni mambo ya nini. And I think that is a part which is supposed to be played by the parent mostly, because tukimwachia mwalimu aweze kufanya mambo unapata wakati mwingine hafanyi.
Wajua hasa kwenye hii karne wazazi wamesahau mambo mengi kwa sababu watu wapambana na kazi, karo ya shule, mambo mengi, lakini tukiangalia mambo mengi wameachia walimu. Ndio haya mavuno basi. Na tukirejea tuangalie siku ya Jumamosi ambapo tuna mwelekezi wetu asema muda wetu umeshakwisha, lakini tuulize maswali mawili matatu kuhusu sherehe ya walimu, kongamano la walimu utakaofanyika kule Msongari. Labda tukiangalia kwenye sekta ya elimu hasa shule Katoliki, tukiangalia mara nyingi kuna kongamano la walimu, kuna kongamano la wanafunzi, na pia tukiangalia Jumamosi iliyopita kule Education Walk for Walk ya Diocese of Nairobi kama njia moja ya kuboresha elimu. Na tukiangalia siku ya elimu inaendelewa kusherekewa kwenye jimbo tofauti tofauti, na juzi tulikuwa kule ya Diocese of Ngong jimbo. Na labda siku kama hii ina umuhimu gani katika maisha ya watoto, walimu na pia kuboresha elimu? Tukiangalia kanisa Katoliki.
Labda kuna kitu nilikuwa nimeona kidogo. The aim of this is to reflect on, recognize and celebrate the Catholic education. Bila shaka ameweza kuelezea mambo mengi, but it's actually to reflect, to see what the Catholic has done so far in terms of education, and maybe kuwatunza wale ama kuwapatia moral wale ambao wameweza kuongoza, the stakeholders and everybody. Utapata pale kuna student leaders, especially kama ni in a secondary school, utapata kuna prefects ambao wanaelezewa vile watakuwa wanaongoza watoto wao, wale wengine na pia kuangazia maisha ya baadaye tutakuwa namna gani katika mambo ya education. Labda mwalimu, you can expound on the same, looking at that forum which is being done every year, maybe to celebrate the Catholic education.
Na pia samahani, tukiangalia mada imesema mwalimu anaeneza Injili kwa kushiriki kikamilifu katika maisha ya Kristo, au kwa Kiingereza teacher who evangelize through achieving participation in Christian life.
A teacher who is
who evangelizes through achieving
active participation in Christian life.
No, what we can I can say, Jesus was a teacher, and it is said nobody has ever taught like him. The work that we do, teaching, mainly relates, actually it is anchored on positive vibes. There is no teacher in any school who will have a negative energy, negative content to the young generation. Every information that we give to the learner, I could be having a weakness as an individual. Probably I could be alcoholic. Yeah, these are things that we meet in the society, and probably our background, I could be alcoholic. There is no other teacher who who has ever taught a pupil to embrace alcoholism, even if I'm an alcoholic. So that's why I'm saying that teaching as actually, you said that teaching is like evangelizing as an act of evangelization. The words that every activity that we involve in with our kids always has positive vibes. Whether in sports, we'll always, at the end of the day, we shall ask ourselves, did you achieve the goal? And the goals that we usually have, they are always positive vibes. Through that, I believe we're impacting the lives of children with a lot of positive vibes in different dimensions. So a teacher has a lot and very critical and crucial role in evangelization and again to inculcate moral and good values to the future generation. They emulate whatever they really, by the way, sometimes again the children they trust us more than sometimes their parents. Sometimes we are used as a corrective measure even at home. Stop, can you come and bathe, or else I'll call your class teacher. When a child hears that, the class teacher will be informed that I didn't bathe yesterday. At the end of the day, we teach about hygiene, we teach about the importance of cleanliness. Even you, when you are growing, you are being told that cleanliness is next to godliness. So once even when the child hears that, the class teacher will be informed. So we are really being associated with positive vibes. So a teacher has a very critical role in evangelization and impacting the lives of the future generation.
Swali la mwisho, labda tukiangalia kongamano kama hilo la kesho ambapo walimu wanakuja pamoja, waajiriwa, wale walioajiriwa kuja pamoja, labda inaashiria nini kama kwako mwalimu?
It motivates us a lot. On 31st of May, Diocese of Ngong had the education, their education day, and most of us, our schools was one of the schools that were awarded because of the excellence performance in previous, in the last year's KCPE. As a teacher, I'm one of them. I told you that I was teaching mathematics. Yes. I was also awarded as a teacher. I had my certificate and I really felt well. When you could see, the pupils that I taught are in high school. They are not with me. But the way the pupils were celebrating my efforts and achievements, and by the fact that it was recognized by our employers and those who are the education sector, stakeholders in Catholic education system, this thing as a teacher, it really motivates us. It gives us power to propel forward. It's a sense that we are being appreciated, and whatever we are doing, somebody is seeing. Usually we normally believe that whatever I do, God sees, and teachers will be harshly judged. Apart from that one, it is a forum that we feel that we are really being recognized, and it really motivates us. So the organizers continue doing the great work you are doing. It is impacting the lives of the teachers, and the teachers are really smiling behind the boardroom. We are so happy whatever you're doing for us. We can't appreciate more.
Wajua maswali mengi lakini muda hairuhusu. Labda mmoja tu ni akiniruhusu, tukiangalia kanisa Katoliki hasa, tukiangalia shule, tukiangalia sekta ya afya, na pia tukiangalia wanafunzi. Wajua kuna ile siku ya wanafunzi ambapo wanafunzi wakuja pamoja, tukiangalia mara nyingi, na kuna kongamano la walimu tulivyosema hapo awali. Je, tukiangalia shule linalomilikiwa na serikali, kuna mambo kama haya? Iwapo hakuna, labda ushauri wako ni kama mwalimu. Kwa sekunde moja.
just take me through again? You know, sometimes again, because I'm a science teacher, probably language can be a barrier, but I appreciate. Just take me through the Kiswahili one.
Samahani, swali la mwisho.
Or the English version.
Tukiondoka, mwelekezi wetu asema muda umekusha, lakini lazima tuulize. Tukiangalia kanisa Katoliki, imeipa masomo kipaumbele.
Great.
Kabisa, umeelewa hapo.
Yes.
Na kuna siku ya kongamano la wanafunzi kwa minajili ya wanafunzi, kongamano kwa minajili ya walimu. Tukiangalia siku ya kesho ambapo wanasherekea. Je, kwenye shule linalomilikiwa na kanisa serikali kuna kongamano ama kuna nafasi wanapewa, wanaweza letwa pamoja wanafunzi, walimu kama njia moja ya kuhamasisha, kuwapa nafasi, kuelewana? Iwapo hakuna, ushauri wako nipi kama mwalimu kutoka shule ya Kikatoliki?
Actually, teachers probably, the forums whereby the public teachers or the teachers within the teaching service commission, who employed by the teacher service commission, where we normally appreciated is usually during the Labor Day, whereby tunabeba bango imeandikwa NAT, bango imeandikwa KUPPET. That is where we are being mentioned. So if at all the government can take the initiative and also emulate whatever the Catholic education, the education department are doing, it can really give a lot of hope to the hopeless within the Teacher Service Commission, the teachers who are employed by the Teacher Service Commission. We just need to be recognized. We just need to be, actually we have World Teachers Day. Those who normally appreciate us are the children that we see or that we teach. You've never, probably in the media houses, we really appreciate whatever you're doing. You recognize, but the education, the education officers within within the zone, within the sub-county, even a text message that we appreciate the work you are doing, we've never seen. So if at all they can also emulate, because they are the majority, they are very many. We really need such kind of occasion, such kind of forums, so that at least we can re-energize and we can have our life going. But we don't have anymore. The government should emulate from the Catholic, and so that the teachers can also feel appreciated. Apart from being, you know, when we ile bango yetu ya NAT na KUPPET tukibeba, what comes to the people's mind is strike, because mainly is normally being carried during strikes. During the normal times, there is never carried. So the government does not have such arrangements, and if at all they can have one, we can really appreciate.
Tukamilishe.
Naomba tukamilishe sasa. Labda nikisema jambo langu la mwisho kwa mtazamaji, ningependa, I would like to appreciate my teachers, wale waliweza kunifunza. Kumbuka pia mimi ni mwalimu wa muziki, si mwalimu kule shuleni. Kwa hivyo I appreciate my teacher in music in primary school. That was my dad. I really appreciate you, dad. I also appreciate walimu ambao walinifunza muziki, Dr. Wafula Situma. Thank you so much for what you've impacted in me. And also mwalimu ule anaendelea hata kunifunza kwa sasa, ambaye nampenda sana, Geoffrey Mukoto. Thank you so much for what you're doing to me. Na nikimalizia labda kuambia wale ambao wanatazama, na kuna shule ambazo mlisomea kule nyumbani, shule za msingi, ni vizuri tushikane sisi wote kule, tuweze kuungana kwa pamoja, tusaidie wale watoto. Labda nyinyi mnajua mambo mengi na wao kule hawana la kufanya. Ni vizuri we build one group so that we can assist those kids who are down there and like to know what is happening. Kama yale mambo ambayo mwalimu aweza kusema, tuweze kusaidia ili waweze kutoka vizuri, kwa sababu ukikosa kumsaidia, kesho ndiye atakutana na yeye pale, akushike vibaya sana, akunyang'anya chochote ambacho uko nacho. Kwa hivyo ni wajibu wetu kama wale waliosomea kule, tuweze kuwasaidia wale wanafunzi. Asanteni sana. Jina langu ni Gabriel Muteti.
Shukran mwalimu kwa muda wako. Na utusamee kwa sababu ya muda haituruhusu, lakini tuna maswali mengi chungu mzima bila shaka. Shukran kwa kanami mpendo mtazamaji wa runinga Capuchin. Kufikia hapa ni tamati ya makala ya Juma katika Imani, na bila shaka kwenye makala haya kumbuka tunakuletea yale ambao tunatarajia, na mojawapo ya sherehe tunayotarajia siku ya Jumamosi ni kwamba kuna kongamano la mwalimu wa sherehe ya walimu wa Katoliki kule eneo la Msongari. Pamoja naye siku ya Jumapili tunatarajia misa kawaida ya kusherehekea miaka 50 ya shirika la ndugu wa Francisco wa Capuchin, ambapo inaendelea kule jimbo Katoliki la Nyeri. Na kumbuka, bila shaka tumejifunza mengi kutoka mwalimu na mgeni wa leo ambaye ni mwalimu Charles kutoka St. Mary Primary and Junior Secondary School kutoka jimbo Katoliki la Ngong, ambaye ametuelimisha na kutufahamisha zaidi, hasa wale ambao hatufahamu zaidi kuhusu kuna tofauti katika shule linalomilikiwa na kanisa Katoliki, shule linalomilikiwa na serikali, na vile vile ni yapi mtu anafaa kuelewa zaidi, ni jukumu la nani kuelimisha hasa wazazi. Jina langu ni Arbebonaya, nikiondoka
tupatane wiki ijayo.
Majaliwa Mwenyezi Mungu.